Bonjour, Hans-Kristian.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Hans-Kristian Vittinghus.
Hans-Kristian Vittinghus, you're 34, you're a Danish player. You're actually world ranking is 42, but you stayed in the top 10 for quite some time these past years. You won countless international titles, including one Super Series, two Grand Prix, numerous other competition, and you were a part of the Denmark winning team in 10 European Championships, and ultimately won the 2016 Thomas Cup in China. That's quite impressive. I'm a little starstruck right now.
Yeah.
First of all, how are you feeling today during this lockdown? How are you with your family? You're okay, and nobody sick around you?
Actually, today I'm feeling really good because the lockdown is starting to open up a little bit in Denmark. So I've actually just been for my first badminton training in I think 5 or 6 weeks. We are having, we have training at the National Center starting from Thursday last week, but I started today. But it's in very restrictive form. So like today in my training, we could only be 3 players present. So we are between 3 or 6 players at a time in training. So today I'm feeling great because I'm happy that I can play a bit of badminton again. But yeah, all of my family is feeling fine, and we, as far as we know, we haven't been hit by the virus so far.
Okay, that's nice. So I imagine you continued to train during this lockdown. What was your daily routine looks like, and how did you manage to stay focused on it? And what kind of advice can you give to badminton players here? We are still in France, 3 weeks of lockdown ahead.
Yeah, well, I didn't do any badminton training at all. The halls were also closed for us national team athletes. So for 5 weeks, I've only been training physical training. I tried to get a lot of or as much equipment as possible for my garden and backyard, so I could. I bought a assault bike or air bike. It's a sort of a fitness bike that could keep me going and keep my cardio work going. I also bought a lot of different kind of weights and rubber bands and stuff like that for my training. And then to make sure that I could still be motivated in the training and get the right, get someone to push me and not having to motivate myself all the time, I actually hired a physiotherapist, a personal trainer that I was training with 3-4 times a week, but just online. So just like we're recording now, I set up my computer outside in the garden, and then the laptop was recording my training, and I could see the personal trainer on the screen, and she could instruct me and do the timing and just try and push me to get the quality up in the training. And I know that not everyone wants to invest that kind of money, but it's really not. It wasn't too expensive, and also I think if you just do it once a week, it would really help the level of your training. So that would be a good advice for me, to try and find someone who can help you maybe just once a week or every 2 weeks to get some inspiration for your physical training to keep in shape.
Yes, of course. And you did not stay in touch with your badminton coaches during this time of the national team?
Yeah, only a little bit. I spoke on the phone with Kenneth Jonas, the national team coach, a few times. But yeah, I was mostly doing physical work, so I was actually more in touch with my physical coach, talking about what kind of programs we could do and how things were working for me. I haven't really been stressed about not playing badminton, because obviously all the events for quite some time are being cancelled. So at the earliest we're going to be playing in August, but to be honest, I don't really believe we're going to be playing in August. So I tried to just relax my mind a little bit and not stress too much about the badminton, but just try and see this as a chance for me to work on my physique and also relax and recharge the batteries and spend some more time with especially my little son.
Yeah, I saw this. How do you deal with the lack of competition? You maybe you set new goals. I think hopefully Denmark will host the Thomas Cup final later this year. Will you be part of the team and you train for this?
Yeah, well, it's all the time been a big goal for me to be part of the team for this Thomas Cup event, but it is quite difficult on the Danish team because usually we only have 4 singles players on the team, and right now we have Axelsen, Antonsen, Gemke, who are pretty sure to be part of the team, and then we have Jan Jørgensen, who's also still ahead of me, and then myself as the 5th highest ranked player only. But there are a few cases in the past where the coaches have selected 5 singles players and 5 doubles players. So yeah, I hope they will do that. And if they don't, then I hope that I can get the last spot on the team instead of Jan. But it is a big goal for me. But I think it's also quite hard to know, is it going to be played in August that it's been postponed for? And how are the coaches going to select the players, because there will be no tournaments before then. So yeah, he will have to see in training who he feels like is at the highest level. So I think it's quite difficult actually to really do very specific goal setting. But yeah, obviously Thomas Cup would be a dream for me to be part of again. There's no doubt about that, and it will be the biggest goal for me this year.
Okay. Did you stay in touch with the other international players?
Yeah,
is everybody okay?
Especially Anders Rasmussen. He's one of my good friends. He also has a kid that's about the same age as mine. So we see each other every now and then. So the kids can also play a little bit. Yeah, we haven't seen each other during this lockdown, but we've been talking together quite a bit. I've also stayed in touch with Jan actually. We are almost the same age, so we know each other from junior years. So we've been good friends for many years. So we have also stayed in touch to mainly discuss the whole situation with the badminton, when we can start training again, and when tournaments will start and stuff like that. We are, like everyone else, a bit concerned about the future of tournaments and badminton. And we are both quite old in terms of professional badminton, so for us, it's not so good if the situation carries on for too long, as our careers are probably not going to last for 5-10 years.
Yeah, I saw you talking about the future. I saw you're playing in your garden with your kids. You tried the AirBadminton here in the south of France. We did a big AirBadminton tour last summer, and we are looking forward to play a lot of this summer again. How do you see this kind of development for our sport?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's a little bit too windy in Denmark still to really play at a great level. But fortunately, my garden is it's hidden a little bit, so the wind is not so strong. But I think it's a great development, and it's a great way to get badminton outside. Of course, it's not exactly the same as what we do on court inside, but it's really similar, I think, and I really like that new shuttle. It's not that it's not sensitive to wind at all, but it is much better than a normal feather shuttle. So I think it's just a great way to enjoy badminton also outside. And I also imagine if I lived in the south of France, then I would be playing a lot more outside for sure. So I really hope that it can catch on and become popular.
Okay, you're most welcome this summer to play with us.
I think it will be a bit difficult to get into the country right now, but yeah, if you open up the borders again and planes start flying again, I'll be happy to come.
Yeah, okay. Last week we interviewed Raphael, who talked to us about SOLIBAD. I know you are involved with it. Could you tell us about it?
Yeah, almost ever since the start, when Raphael founded the project, the charity, I started supporting it by playing with the logos on my shirts, and I'm just trying to support in any way I can. I think with the platform I have, with a lot of followers on social media and a lot of fans that watch what I do and read what I say, I think I have a great chance to actually do something meaningful with that. And SOLIBAD is providing me a chance to do that within the sport that I love. So I think for me it was quite obvious that this would be a great choice for me to support this kind of charity, as I can both do meaningful work and also do it within something I love doing, badminton. So yeah, so I love supporting them, and I want to keep doing it for the rest of my career, and I want to keep doing it after my career as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I went to visit one of the projects in Indonesia, in Jakarta. What is that now? 2 years ago, and just like it was in a big like garbage dump where some of the kids and families live. So they just live in small houses almost built out of garbage. But when you see their faces when they get on the badminton court, just have a few hits, it just makes it all worth it, and you just see what it is that badminton and sport in general can give to people. So even if when they live in a situation like that, it's just so heartwarming to see that what badminton can do, and I love to be part of that and support him in that way.
Okay, I think it shows that you're a very open-minded person, and maybe that's why I asked you to be interviewed with me today. Thank you. Ultimately, I'd like to talk about the podcast you run. A year on tour with Vittinghus. I've listened it a bit, and I find it very, very interesting. I think it's a good opportunity for young athletes to know about the life of a pro player, and for us French people, it's also a good way to practice English. Can you tell us the story about this podcast?
Yeah, well, I started it because first of all, I'm a huge fan of podcasts. I listen to them a lot myself, and I was a bit annoyed that I didn't think there was enough good badminton related podcasts available. A couple of years ago, I had one in Danish with Victor Axelsen and a Danish journalist, but yeah, we didn't really find the time anymore to always meet the three of us to do the podcast. So I wanted to do something that was easy to do for me. So I thought, why not when I'm on tour, where I have a bit of time when I'm in the hotel rooms waiting between the tournaments, why not just update the guys on what's going on. And I thought it could be quite interesting for, as you say, especially young athletes, but also just anyone that's interested in following the badminton tour, to get an insight into the mind of a badminton player, to hear that we also get nervous, and we also worry about the opponents, and if the results are not great, or how happy we are when the results are great. So I think I can give a different kind of insight compared to if it was two badminton journalists who did a podcast. But I have to say the podcast is I have to kind of rethink it right now, because obviously it's called A Year on Tour, and right now I'm not really on tour, and it will be several months before I am on tour again. But I'm trying my best to still do a few episodes every now and then, and update people on training and what the situation is like. And I'm also trying to be really open to taking questions from the listeners, and that way keeping it interesting for the listeners. So yeah, I hope a lot of French people will start listening after this.
Yeah, with our great post-production level, we will do the address of the podcast on the screen, so that people can go to listen it. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Do you have some last word to say to the people watching us?
Yeah, just keep your head high, stay home, and stay safe. And then I just hope that the situation will resolve itself quite soon. But yeah, keep your head high, everyone.
Thank you very much, Hans-Kristian. That was very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.